You and I have talked about this before, what a catastrophe, a disaster, the threat to national security, to public safety, what's going on our border. So just to take the step back, as you just alluded to, Vice President Biden nearly 2 months ago appointed her the border czar, right? Back in March. We sent a letter inviting her to come visit the border. And in my original letter to her, I mentioned the fact that, look, she's a former AG. I'm an AG. We're both, first generation Americans, products of immigration. We both talked about the need to fight the traffickers and the cartels. And we've heard nothing from her. And just as you said, there are a lot of law enforcement officials, the sheriffs, the mayors, all sorts of people, federal, state level, that have heard nothing from Kamala Harris or the Biden administration. So I guess this is something they do in DC, where you appoint somebody to something and you give them like a great title and they maybe talk about it a little bit, but then they actually don't do anything. And that's obviously not the way the real world works.
No, it doesn't. But it does here in DC. In DC, it does. And you and I chatted a little bit about this. The Attorney General is very well aware of how this bureaucracy works. And for all of you out there that don't know, I mean, most of us, if we get a promotion, we get a special appointment, we're just like coming home. We can't believe it. We're going to get this big bonus. Our boss loves us. We're doing our job. Fantastic. In Washington, DC, it's like literally a demotion. It's like nobody wants to admit that they got the massive promotion out of the office, because what does that usually mean, Attorney General? What does that mean? Usually, not always.
Look, as I used to run the gaming department, which is law enforcement agency. I worked at the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Department of Justice. And one of the things that I realized early on is a result of all of these like protections for, a lot of employees, that you end up with employees that are malcontents or sometimes don't work very hard, and you can't get rid of them because you can't fire them. So what you try to do as an agency head or an agency is you try to find another spot for them. So there's like this key thing where you promote someone or you put someone in a position where maybe they get more pay, they get a title, they're happy, but then you kind of get rid of them so they're not involved in what you're trying to do. And so
promoting out
in the classic Washington position where she's got this sweet title. She gets to go travel to Central America, whatever she's doing, and go plant trees in Mexico. But meanwhile, we have this crisis on the border that the cartels are exploiting, that's going to cost us a lot of money and resources, and she's not doing anything. She doesn't care. And it's sad. If it wasn't, I know you and I were joking about the federal bureaucracy, but I mean, this is a tragedy in the making. And
it is.
The joke's on us as taxpayers.